Hello again, Beaver fans, and welcome back to another Meet the Beavers. It is the final football edition until we draw ourselves into the winter sports and the winter sports athletes. And as always, it's great to have you guys back here with us on board. Sorry we missed you again last week. Obviously, the bye week, kind of a weird time to have it, second to last week. But, hey, schedules sometimes, weirder things have happened before. So, again, I'm your host, Cole Clementich, and I'm proud to bring you guys our next guest in the series as Minded State Football gets ready for their Senior Day matchup against the Winona State Warriors. So be sure to go out to Herb Parker Stadium this weekend, 1 p.m. kickoff. I'm sure we'll mention it a lot throughout the broadcast here today, but I'm here. Let's get us going here, shall we, guys? I'm here now with Fairview, Montana senior, the hard-hitting linebacker who started his career all the way back in 2019. We're talking pre-COVID here, guys. Give it up for Carson Cayko. Carson, good to have you here with us today. How you doing, man?
I'm all right. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Well, like I said, we're going to dig into a lot of things here about your career and classroom life as well. And, it's crazy. Can you believe that the time is here already, Senior Day, this upcoming Saturday?
Yeah, it is. It snuck up on me for sure. Like you said, I've been here since 2019 before COVID, and at that time, I didn't get my first year of eligibility burn until 2021, so at that time, it seemed like a far off journey and stuff like that, and now all of a sudden it's here, and I'm in my last week, and making sure I'm soaking it all in and stuff like that. It's kind of a surreal thought to have.
Mm-hmm. Have practices felt different? Have any of the prior games felt a little different from your perspective because of it being senior year?
I don't know. I wouldn't say that necessarily until really this week. I kind of just haven't really been thinking about it and stuff like that. I'm kind of a person, I don't do very well at thinking too far ahead and stuff like that, so I'm very just week to week, and then the bye week happened like we were kind of talking about, and no games that week, so it was all I could think about was this week coming up, and yeah, it's different. And then as far as games go, I just kind of wanted to take every game as its own and not think too far ahead and just try to take it one step at a time.
No, I totally get it, man. And like I mentioned earlier, the second to last week of the season, you guys had a bye week. It's kind of weird. Kind of sucks not playing football, but at the same time, I asked Coach Shields, what have you guys been able to use this bye week to your advantage?
I think, it's definitely a little weird, but definitely good for some guys to get some rest. I've been joking about it all week. Definitely good for an old guy like me to get some rest and stuff like that. But as far as we've just been really focusing on our attention to details and our attentions to the little things, because we've talked about it all year that it's the little things that make the difference. And I think we all as a team can go back and say there's little things here and there in each of our losses that we can go back and say, man, if we would have just done this and that, and we could have easily have a lot different win and loss column. They'd look a lot different. But
no, I see where you're getting at though, Carson, and there's you guys have been close in a lot of the games. The tough one against Moorhead, obviously, but I know you guys, you're turning the tide is how I see it, and there's a lot of results. In past years where they've not been as close. This time around, you guys there's a lot of growth, a lot of progress, so I'm sure, despite the last 5 games that have not gone your way, there's still lots of positives to look at there, certainly.
For sure.
More for you, seeing all the change that has happened around, football, the coaching staff, around campus, what has stood out to you, over these years since you've started?
I'll just start as far as campus goes. I think the football team around here has always been well supported and stuff like that. I mean, that's why one of the reasons why I came here is how small it felt, even though it was a decently bigger sized city from where I'm from, what I'm used to. But now, like, it's evolved, and it's a little. I felt like it was a little shaky last year, but I mean, that's just a normal thing that can happen with a coaching change like that, especially like such a drastic one like we had back in 2020, like 2023, going into that fall and stuff. And but I think a great thing is, like, we all rallied behind Coach Shields and bought into that, and it's helped. And I've talked about it before. It's helped us, I think, with the success that we have seen and stuff like that this year. And then along with that, Coach Shields has said it before. When a football team's doing well on campus, you can feel it in the air and stuff. And although we haven't been as successful in the win columns and stuff like that these last few weeks, like the tide's turning, you can feel it. And I'm just thankful to be a part of that and be able to see that kind of growth as a young guy coming in, being right there. I feel like even the years before, and then finally in my last year, we finally decided. I mean, really wish we could have seen a few more wins in the win column, but that's all part of the building process and stuff. So,
you brought up a good point. How does it feel to be a part of this turnaround, and what are you teaching the young guys who are going to be hopefully making this turnaround continue to trend upward?
Well, I think a big thing for me is what I've talked to a lot of young guys and new guys just in general. Like, it was a lot different. It was a big change for me because I had a lot of close relationships those first few years of being here, and then a lot of those guys were either graduated out or just ended up leaving and stuff. And so it was a little different. I didn't have quite as big of a connection with everybody right away, and that was one big difference I think this year is we've molded as a team and really as like one big family. That's what you want to see in the locker room. But I would say pretty much that's all I can really say about that.
So a lot of good stuff there, Carson. And let's talk about some of the records. You found your way in the process. Tackles for loss. How cool when you first found that out. How cool was it that you were able to put your name in such stats like that and such history books for this program?
Yeah, I mean, it felt cool. I found that out last year, and it was tough to almost celebrate it because I want to see win. I want to win and stuff like that. So as unsuccessful as a year as we had, it was pretty cool getting that, and it's something that I didn't necessarily think about, or wasn't one of my goals when I first got here. But when I did get here, I wanted to be part of something. I wanted to be part of history here at Minot, and it's fulfilling to have it play out like it has and stuff. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and certainly this season, you guys already broke the Division II era record for most wins in a season. So, like we've been talking, hopefully that continues to trend upward in future seasons. And let's talk. Before we get into classroom life, were there any other cool moments that has stood out to you in your career? You've also had some all NSIC academic and second team achievements. Anything that you like?
It was more just validating for as far as like the all conference nomination goes and stuff like that. Because in 2022, I kind of felt like I could have been a second team all conference guy and stuff, and I didn't quite get there. And to have the following year make it was like just validating to say the least. Like putting in all that work and time and effort into something that you really care about, to have some sort of reward, it is nice. But You know, there's a lot of people around me that helped me get to that point. So.
Oh, that's good. Now let's talk about getting into the textbooks and the classroom here, Carson. You know, it says online you're nursing. You're also a pre-physical education major. You know, talk to us about that. What's your class schedule look like? What do you do on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah. Well, my classroom life and class schedule has changed kind of drastically. I did finish up my nursing degree last spring, and I'm a fully licensed nurse right now and stuff, and I'm just kind of putting that off to finish out football. But that was a lot of time in the class, or like a minimum. One class was a minimum 4 hours long, on top of an 8-hour clinical day, and sometimes with when I was in my practicum last spring, I was doing full 12-hour shifts. So that was a little bit of a task to get through and stuff. But this year is a lot slower pace for me. I have that pre-physical education on there, but I kind of had to add that. I'm not necessarily actually pursuing that. I had to add it on to stay eligible to get credits and stuff like that for football. Yeah. But that's also helped me be able to stay eligible this year and stuff like that. And this year I'm just taking a few health classes. I got a Spanish class that I'm taking. I'm not doing too well in that one. It's been a little bit of a struggle, but it's kind of fun. It's something out of my comfort zone, so that's been fun. And really, and most of my that's what my only in-person class since Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So most of my days I kind of just relaxing at my house, watching film or doing a little bit of homework here and there, and just trying to rest my body up.
Yeah, all the usual stuff for in the life of a football player. Yeah. I like it there, Carson. Let's talk, do you have any, now that you have your nursing degree and the pre-physical education, stuff, kind of sorting that out there with staying eligible in football, what are some of your future goals or aspirations that you have post-football and post-college life?
Yeah, well, after I'm finished up here, I'm going to hopefully get a job here at Trinity, stick around mine out for a couple years. And then I want to gain some experience there and stuff like that, and then eventually I want to go back to school and get my master's, and then I be a nurse practitioner and stuff like that, and then I can kind of do my own practice, and then in between there maybe do a travel nursing bid to just get around a little bit and see what I can find out there.
Now, Trinity is a great place to start off, and have you talked to any of the athletic trainers who work for Trinity? Have you gotten any input from them? Have they taught you anything?
Yeah, I mean, a little bit here and there. They've definitely taught me a lot on how to heal my own body up in my own time and stuff, which has been a help. But as far as asking them about Trinity itself, and I haven't really thought of asking them about that, honestly. I think mainly just because I feel like nursing and the training world are kind of different and stuff like that. But no, I mean, maybe I'll have to now since you brought it up with me. But
maybe just get a little advice here and there. I know it's a little different field, but just curious there, Carson. Anything else you wanted to add there to? I guess I kind of jumped the gun a little bit.
No worries at all. I wish I had more for you, but not really.
That's all right. Yeah, we'll move on here. Talk about role models or any professors that you've looked up to as you've gone along in your college life.
Role models for sure. Just like I have a couple past coaches that have done a lot. I mean, a most recent one, Coach Mike Bruno, and then our DC before that, Coach Lee Prunchinsky, they both helped me out and kind of showed me the way to become the player that I am and stuff. And now my defensive coordinator now, Jake Rothscheller, is one of the main reasons that I came back to play football and stuff. Like I was debating whether or not to come back and just start my life, or he's been a huge asset to Minot State itself and to me in my life. He's just been help me out through my senior year and kind of just been giving me advice along the way to help me push through, and it's been great. One of my favorite instructors is Sarah Franzfog. She's the wife of late Dean Franzfog. She was one of my nursing instructors in my third semester, and she's been a huge help and almost like a second mom for me around here. And it's great to have her and other ladies over there in the nursing program like Heidi Okeson and Amy Roberts, and the entire program over there. They're awesome. They worked so well with me when I was trying to deal with football and stuff like that. So I could go on and on about the amount of people and that have helped me get to where I am, and the amount of support that I've gotten and help. Like, we could sit here forever and talk about that.
Yeah.
So.
No, I'll say this. Shout out to all of the faculty and the role models and professors impacting Carson's life. So yeah, a lot of good names, good stuff there as always, Carson. Now let's head back to the gridiron. Let's get a little Winona State preview. Have you been able to scout them, and if so, what do they present to you guys on the gridiron this weekend?
Yeah, I've gotten a little look at them as we've looked at them as a team and stuff like that, and they got a pretty good O-line up front. We kind of think that they're going to be one of the better O-lines that we've played all year. Their quarterback is a transfer from South Dakota, and he's D1 guy, so he's a great player. Watch him. He throws a lot of good balls. He's a smart player too. He doesn't throw it into risky situations. So, and then their running backs too. They're shifty and they're explosive running backs. So, it's going to be big for us up front and in the trenches to win that and try to win the first and second downs and put them behind the chains and get them to put the ball in the air so we can try to get some turnovers.
Last few questions for you here, Carson. You guys had a close one against the Warriors last year. How do you get back? How do you get them back and return the favor?
Yeah, I think it's just all going to start with our effort and up front, and whether we're going to start. We got to be able to start off fast, and we know that. And if we start off slow, it's going to be a really tough game for us, and it's going to be a dogfight. So it was a physical game last year. We're ready for it to be another physical game this year, but that's kind of been our MO all year long, that we're going to get hit, but we're going to get right back up, kind of like what the Lions head coach said, when we're getting up, we're going to bite a kneecap off and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's just going to be a dogfight, and we're ready for it.
I'm not a Lions fan, but I actually did just use that press conference as one of my references for a grad school assignment there. Yeah, Dan Campbell, you can get a lot from him, certainly. So
he knows how to get people going.
Oh yeah, good pull there, Carson. And last thing for you here before we send you off, as you observe on game day one last time, what are you gonna miss the most? Might be a loaded question.
No,
so take your time.
I think I'm just going to miss putting my helmet on and with the guys in the locker room probably the most, because a lot of my friendships and stuff like that are all based around me playing football here, so it's going to be a little weird not having that next year and stuff like that, but and probably like the home, especially this year, like our home crowd and stuff, like just the community and that kind of love in general. I'm gonna miss a lot. I've loved playing here, and it's meant a lot to me. My mom my mom just sent me a picture of her and her her and a bunch of her teammates in her like Minot State basketball uniform, because when she played here and stuff. So, yeah, and I'm.
She played here?
Yeah. She was actually
family that played here once.
Yeah,
really?
my mom.
She
played. Yeah, she played here for. She played basketball here and ran track actually for like 2 years, and then ended up transferring to Wapaton to do dental hygiene. Okay. So, yeah, but
I did not know that.
Yeah, I think, and I'm gonna miss an excuse to have my family come to town every weekend and stuff like that. I don't live. My hometown's not very far away, so it's been great. They've made every game this year and stuff, and it's gonna be different not seeing them and giving that to them as far as football goes and stuff.
Yeah, well, it's been a long season, been a long career for you, and a lot of a well accomplished one at that there, Carson. And we thank you for being on Meet the Beavers today, and we wish you all the best of luck, not only this weekend but in the future when you get to be alumni status.
Hey, well, I appreciate it. Thank you a lot.
Yep. Thanks for being on, Carson. And
sir. There
you have it, Beaver fans. You just heard senior linebacker from Fairview, Montana, Carson Cayko, giving us the down low, his story, and just a tremendous career he's had. And once again, Minot State back home one last time this weekend, senior day, against Winona State University, playing the Warriors, 1 p.m. kickoff. Again, like we said, go on out, pack the herb, and support the Beavers as they put a bow on the season, wrap things up here. I'm your host, Cole Clementich. This has been the final football edition of Meet the Beavers, and starting, I want to say, sometime next week or fairly soon, we'll get into the winter sports, and that should be all fun and dandy. So, thank you all for watching, tuning in. This has been the latest Meet the Beavers episode 10. We thank you all for tuning in again, and we wish you a good rest of your week.